All righty. Well, good morning to you today on this Saturday, June the 29th. And our daily Devo today is entitled Kind Words. And the Charles Dickens portion of it comes from David Copperfield. Excuse me. Go you below, my love, said Mr. Murdstone. David and I will come down together. David, he said, making his lips thin by pressing them together, if I have an obstinate horse or dog to deal with, what do you think I do? I don't know. I beat him. I felt in my silence that my breath was shorter now. What is that upon your face? Dirt, I said. He knew it was the mark of tears as well as I. But if he had asked the question 20 times, each time with 20 blows, I believe my baby heart would have burst before I would have told him so. God help me. I might have been improved for my whole life. I might have been made another creature, perhaps, for life by a kind word at that season. A word of encouragement and explanation, of pity for my childish ignorance, of welcome home, of reassurance to me that it was home, might have made me dutiful to him in my heart henceforth, instead of in my hypocritical outside. It might have made me respect instead of hate him. I thought my mother was sorry to see me standing in the room so scared and strange, and that presently, when I stole to a chair, she followed me with her eyes more sorrowfully still, missing, perhaps, some freedom in my childish tread. But the word was not spoken, and the time for it was gone. Charles Dickens had a dark outlook on life, it seems. Oh, all the things we're being introduced here to. Okay, some thoughts from Gene Fisher now. There are many painful scenes in the works of Charles Dickens, which we're finding out. His words sometimes show readers what happens behind closed doors and in secret. This is one of those scenes. David Copperfield's stepfather, Mr. Murdstone, was a vicious man who enjoyed breaking the spirits of his wife and stepson. But, as Dickens so often does, he reveals through his characters a lesson about life. As David reflects on his childhood, he understands that kind words from his stepfather might have made David a different sort of man. In Ephesians 4:15, the apostle Paul taught what speaking with love reflects the character of Christ. Quote, we will speak the truth in love, growing in every way more and more like Christ, unquote. Paul went on to say in verse 29, quote, do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their deeds. And in 1 Peter 3:10 we read, whoever would love life and see good days must keep his tongue from evil. Sometimes out of weariness or frustration, we speak unkind words, or we let an opportunity pass when a gentle comment might have conveyed understanding and love. This happens to all of us. It comes with being human. Our words carry both power and potential. See if yours can lift someone up today. Proverbs 8:13, the fear of the Lord is to hate evil. Pride and arrogance and the evil way and the perverse mouth I hate. Jesus would tell us that what comes out of these lips had us brewing down here in our hearts. in our inner thoughts, in our inner responses to people and situations and things. And we're all prone to that, I think, unless we've really mastered the spiritual gift of humility, of love and kindness. It's not always easy to tolerate. And that's a fault that we each have. Well, those of us who struggle with that we have. Not everyone. Kind words. They can turn away wrath. They can help a person who needs to hear them to be healed inside, to be encouraged, to go on their way and try to do better instead of being beat down, instead of as the stepfather here says, if he has an obstinate horse or dog to deal with, he beats him. There's no correcting, gentle correcting. There's no showing a tenderness to that animal, and evidently he carries it over into people as well. He's an unkind man who is breaking everyone around him, from his wife to his stepson and to who knows who else as a businessman. Kind words. We can start, James would say, the tongue is a deadly instrument. It's like a little match that can start a forest on fire. It needs to be controlled. We can control animals. We can control all kinds of situations and things. But that tongue, it's hard to control. And again, what comes out of it, brewed inside of us first in our hearts and minds. It tells us something about ourselves when our first responses are to speak angry, cutting words to others. Let the Spirit control everything about us, but especially what comes out of our mouths, so that we can humbly say to the Lord, let the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. Blessings to you today, and let's see what we can do today to encourage others with our words.